here at SEC Media Days with TexAgs and the man who carried the Johnny Manziel documentary, Billy Liucci. Billy, how we doing, man?
What's
Glad to
up,
have you
JD?
on here. This is great.
Hey, I feel like I'm stepping into a little star turn here. I told you I watch your stuff constantly. I'm like, we need more of it. We need more of the analysis, more of the just you got some good opinions.
Well, I appreciate that.
You do.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's going to be a fun year, hopefully, for a lot of positive opinions around A&M. Like, overall, I feel like there's always this cloud from the outsiders around A&M.
Yeah.
As an insider, someone who follows it, I mean, as closely as anybody in the world, what is your analysis of A&M in 2025?
I think they take a small step forward in 25. And by that, I mean, the Texas 8-4, it's people say it and they say it because there's some ring to it that rings true. There's a lot of 8-4 seasons. I heard someone, they were on our show, and I just, it was too short an interview to go into the weeds with it. They said, it's been such a struggle for them since they've been in the SEC. I don't think that's been the case at all. If you look in the 13 years, I think they might have the fourth best record in the league during that time. It's that they consistently don't ascend above that. So they've been very consistent, and they've been consistently solid, not special, right?
Sure.
And Aggie fans want special. I think, the people that pay the salaries and the buyouts want special, the facility. And Mike Elco wants special. I think they took a great first step last year. I think people underestimate how good a first season in the SEC for a head coach that was. And I think he'd be the first one. He'll probably say it tomorrow. They have to take another step this coming season because at the rate they're recruiting and how much commitment there is in College Station, like you can't stay stagnant, even though it's just year two. They have to take that step. I think they will. I think they bring back a lot of experience. They bring back, not to say any first round picks, they bring back a lot of NFL guys, which they didn't have last year. And I like the quarterback. I like him a lot. He does have to take a significant jump, but I think he's more than capable of doing that.
You mentioned the small step. People that I think follow this sport know this, but again, people that just live in the headlines forget A&M is a game away from playing for the conference against Georgia in Atlanta. And so to say they struggle in the SEC against Texas, run it back, I mean, that would have been phenomenal to see. I mean, A&M at that point, Mike Elko's first year. And so the math to me doesn't totally track on that. You mentioned Marcel Reed. How do you expect the offense to look different with him now having a full spring, a full fall camp to build it around what he does well?
Well, and I'll tell you, one win from that Atlanta game, I'll tell you, if they tackle Peyton Thorne on 4th and 3 or 4 against Auburn, that game's over and they're there, regardless of that Texas result. So, not to say they were the second best team in the SEC, but you make a great point there and how close they were to people going, oh, what a hell of a first season. And you mentioned Marcel Reed, how close they were to saying that about Marcel when he led A&M down the length of the field for a touchdown in the closing moments against Auburn, only to give it up on the defense. He led them down the field in the final 2 minutes against USC for a touchdown, walked it in himself, only to have the defense blow it. If they get 2 fourth down stops, how much different is this conversation about number 10? How do I see him look different? I think what we need to see is just a more confident. You know this. You evaluate this stuff a lot. He was so confident in that LSU game, and when it was going good for him last year, you could see that confidence build in the swamp, in the second half against Auburn on the road. He led him back from 21-0 to essentially win the game.
Yeah.
When he gets that rolling, so I think you need to see more of that. Like the ball snapped, he sees it. He sees the guy come open, cuts it loose. Doesn't hesitate. He needs less hesitation in his game. And I think if he and Colin Klein have put in enough work to where it becomes a little more second nature to him. Because remember, he wasn't supposed to start last year.
No.
He wasn't ready to at the start of the year. So I think that's the biggest jump. And if you do, then I think then you see him confident, take off running more, see it open up and just go without, worrying that, hey, I've got to sit back here and be a pocket pass. I just play more freely because he's confident that he knows what he's seeing.
That was what excited me, seeing him in the Florida game. Like, the build-up to that game is kind of where he's going to play. Is he not? I don't know when he found out. I think David Nuno said it was like that morning he finds out, walks out there in a gross weather game in one of the toughest places to play in college football in the swamp, and he was just like backyard football. Like serial killer kind of composure. I was like, that guy, if he's pulling the trigger, like he might be a little bit different. Does it feel like it's Marcel Reed's team in your mind? Because I know that's a big thing right now in, the locker room of all that.
I don't think so yet. And I don't mean that as an insult, because I think it will be Marcel's team. I just think starting 6 games or whatever it was, and they ended the offseason on a 1-4 streak.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I wouldn't go that far yet, but I will answer that by saying I think it will be. I think when we sit here, if we were sitting here mid-season, you said, is this Marcel's team? I would say it is now. And I think next year at this time, he's here as a captain and a third-year returning quarterback that everyone's talking about. I just think people forget, JD, how young and inexperienced he is. And we see a ton of that around the league, right? But look, like you said, he showed it against Florida. He was nasty. Think about getting benched. Not benched. He didn't get benched. He was playing well.
Passed over.
Giving the job back to Connor for a top 10 game. Watching Connor slice and dice that and go, man, I might not get my job back. Keeping your head up, and then 2 weeks later, your team's losing and you get thrown into the second half. I mean, he's got a lot that you can't coach up here, and in terms of his composure,
which has got to be so exciting for a Mike Elco, and that's kind of where I want to get your final thought on this. Like, for me personally, maybe I'm an overly optimistic person just as a default. Like
you are, but we like that around here.
That's just how I think having played the game, I'm just like, man, it can change fast. It's human beings playing the game. It can change fast. When you look at A&M in their first season, the Mike Elko, I'm like, okay, as long as that dude is in charge of the program and he's a defensive guy, I feel good about the defense. Fair or unfair?
I think that's fair, and I think he's shown that at Wake Forest, which got him a job at Notre Dame, and he showed it at Notre Dame, which landed him at A&M under Jimbo. He showed it for 4 years at A&M, then he showed it at Duke. It wasn't up to his standard this past season. They weren't terrible, but at times they were. I can name you some good games, but at times their inability to stop opposing offenses cost them football games. I can think of USC. I can think of Auburn, South Carolina when they couldn't tackle Sellers. So I think that was really about it. I think they might have tired out during the season a little bit. They might have not had the depth they need. But I think more than anything, he wasn't happy with just them playing assignment football and doing the things that he expects them to do. So, I think the secondary is going to be the most improved unit on the team. So that's a great start. And B, he just said, this wasn't good enough. I'm going to reinsert myself into the position of essentially being the defensive coordinator, play caller. And he's going to do that now. So a lot of people go, oh, well, that's what that's what Steve Sarkisian does in Austin on offense. Elko's going to do the same thing on defense. It's going to be his defense, and he wants his fingerprint on it much more so than it was last year.
I can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
a fun year.
I'm fired up about that. And then the one thing we didn't talk about that I think is if A&M is one of these teams that, when I say take a step, I mean like 9-3.
Yeah.
And if they're able to do that or get that one more win and be in the playoff discussion, which there's a pack of teams that somebody's coming out of that, right? Mm-hmm. You and I could probably name 6 of them.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it's one of those. If they're to get there, it's going to be on the strength of what you just talked about, a really improved defense. But I also think that ground game could be the best in the SEC.
I agree. I 100% agree. I guess, like, numbers wise, I know, Tennessee ran for 200 yards a game, whatever, but like I think just what they have talent wise, you know better than anybody. It's deep.
O-line
It's like
running
being under
back.
the pool, man.
Think about O-line running back, Marcel the run threat, and what Colin Klein likes to do.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nasty. Billy Liucci here in Atlanta. TexAgs. Appreciate all the time, man.
All right, thanks, Shady. Appreciate you.